Hello. As you may have heard, it's Canada's 150th anniversary as a nation. Congratulations, Canada. We've made it 150 years. That's wonderful. Now, let's go through and look at some of the things that make us clearly Canadian. We've got artists and athletes and actors respected all over the world. Look at Mark Tewksbury or Ashton McIsaac, and who can forget Katie Lang? We've got Beavers and Bears and basketball. Beavers, if you know anything about Canada, you've probably seen them on our coins and all over the place. Bears, you may not have seen so much of, unless of course you were camping, and then in that case you may have seen a bear a little bit more closer than you wanted to. As for basketball, don't forget ever that this sport that's enjoyed by millions of people all over the world was invented right here in Canada. Calgarians, Canucks. Whether you're a Canuck supporter, or you're a Calgarian, or you're a Chippewa, you are equally Canadian. You are equally part of the Canadian fabric. Canada embraces multiculturalism and our heritage and our sports. Hockey is a great sport. Many people apparently watch it in Canada, and Calgary has the Calgary Stampede and oil wells, and the Chippewa protect the land and nature and everything about it. Debate and differences. Debate differences, discuss differences. People have the right and an opportunity to discuss what makes us different. This is a good thing. Debate the differences and discuss the differences, not hate-mongering, not fear, but an opportunity for us all to do better by spending time together. Elderly, elections, and our East Coast. More reasons that Canada is better than other countries. We respect our elderly. We've so much to learn from them. After all, they've had experiences that literally most of us have never had in our whole lives. Elections. Elections in Canada are free and open, and people are even allowed to vote for different parties than I am. East Coast. If you've never seen it, you really must. All the rumors about them being friendly are absolutely true. They are a kind and generous area of our country, and the waterfront is, well, it's beautiful, as is many other things in that area. Thank you as well to our First Nations. First Nations kept this land safe, secure, and sacred long before we were a nation. Geese, government, and games. Not necessarily all at the same time. Please don't elect geese to government. Please don't play games in government. But government is very important, and this country is run with an open one, as I suggested before. Games, Canada Games, are a wonderful thing if you ever get a chance to partake. And geese, Canada geese in particular, are majestic animals. Honor. H is for honor. Honoring Indigenous people. Honoring human rights. Honoring everybody, actually. Together, we are much stronger than we are apart. Interfaith and intersectionality. Learning about how our faiths have many things in common and differences. How our lives have come together. How we meet in different places, how we all do the same things, and how we all do different things. Canada has so much to offer. J, Jewish. Canada is home to many Jewish people. One thing I like about the Jewish religion and beliefs is the fact that they have this one belief that hateful things that you would not like done to you, don't do them to your neighbor. How simple is that? Jamaicans. Who can forget about Jamaicans? And in fact, everybody from the Caribbean and what you bring to our country. A general willingness to wake up every day and be happy, smiling faces, great festivals, and a cultural mosaic from your own Caribbean countries to join our own country here in Canada. Thank you for being part of us. Hey, Kelowna, BC, Kitchener, Ontario. Both completely different cities, both very important. Kelowna, BC, of course, is on our west coast. Mountains, warmer weather generally than in Kitchener, and ocean and beautiful people. Kitchener, we've got Oktoberfest, Tech Hub, universities. There's universities in Kelowna as well. Great opportunities in both cities. I think we should all have the goal to see them both. Listening to others. The best way always to learn. Leadership. Canada has such an opportunity here to really establish itself in a leadership position. With global warming, with peacekeeping, with technology, we're on the forefront, and we can even take a bigger stage as we go forward. Muslims, Muncie, Maple Leafs. All people in Canada are totally respected, no matter what your background, or your faith, or your creed. Nature, such as a maple leaf, which adorns our flag, which is part of a tree. Well, of course, trees are all over Canada, really represent things that are important to Canada and Canadians. Nature is at the forefront of many spiritual beliefs of many different communities. Neighbors, national parks, and national resources. Canada has a rightly earned reputation, I would say, for being neighborly. Doesn't mean we can't do better, but we are in fact a very neighborly sort of people. Whether it's your neighbor across the road, your neighbor across the apartment building, your neighbor down the street, maybe someone at work, neighboring country, co-worker, whoever it is, it's an opportunity for you to know someone new, to work with them, to learn with them, and perhaps even to help them. National parks. Canada has some of the most beautiful national parks in the world. A whole system of parks that you can visit and see nature and our country at its fullest. Explore them and see what's out there for you. Natural resources. Very few things cause so much debate in Canada as how we are going to prosper from our natural resources. Whether it's our timber, our gold mines or diamond mines, our oil or natural gas, Canada has an abundance of rich resources that, in fact, we are more blessed than we can realize when we think about the number of countries that want to import these from us, meaning that they don't have a supply of their own to take advantage of. If I was to make one small quibble, I would ask that as Canadians we find a way to work better to use our resources in and amongst ourselves so that people on the West Coast aren't importing from Asia when we have the resources in the country, and people on the East Coast aren't importing from Europe when we already have the resources elsewhere in our country. 150 years and oh Canada. Ottawa is the center of our parliament system here in Canada. It's a clean city, it's an open city, we've got the waterfront, we've got a downtown market that is really fabulous, we've got good bookstores and a lot of historical sites. And it's a capital city that you can feel safe in and proud to visit. 150 years. Canada is now officially 150 years old. At least Canada as we know it today. Of course, there were people here before then as well. But the Canada we have today is 150 years old. Congratulations on 150 well-deserved years. And we've got many, many more 150 years to come. Oh Canada. Oh Canada is our national anthem. Oh Canada, our home and native land. Police, postings, and perspectives. The police in this country actually do the job that they're paid to do. If you're born and raised here, like I was, sometimes it's really easy to forget how many countries are in the world where the police don't do this? Where the police are one-sided and really work for someone else other than the law. Perspectives. It's a country of many perspectives, and you're free to voice yours, and you're free to post them, and to let people know how you feel. Of course, everyone else is free to post theirs as well, and let them know how they feel about what you feel. Quebec City, Canada's rich French cultural city. Well, all of Quebec is, but Quebec City in particular has a beautiful French history. It's older than our country, as a matter of fact. I think it's probably around 1608 that Quebec City was discovered and started, as it is now. For many, many years, it was a very small place before growing into the beautiful city that it is today. Culturally, I would say that it is actually the French capital of North America, if you were to call it that. Thank you for being a part of our cultural mosaic here in Canada. Without culture and without differences and without the enriching fabric of so many different types of people in Canada, we would be a lesser place. Quality of life. Canada has an incredibly high quality of life. We're not perfect and things aren't equal for all, but it's easy for us to complain when we compare it to other countries where they don't know where their next meal might come from. They don't know if their house is going to get blown up the next day. They don't know if one side or the other of an army is going to rampage through town. They can't trust the law enforcement. They don't have hydro. Heck, some of these places don't even have water. Our quality of life in Canada is incredible. And for that, I thank you. Races. Races and races. Canada is very blessed to have many talented race car drivers, and many places around the country from coast to coast where race events are held on a regular basis. Also, we have many races of people here. All kinds of different backgrounds, and in both cases, for the vast majority of the times, there's no difficulties whatsoever. Races go round and round the track. Races of people go back and forth to work, back and forth to school, back and forth to shopping, or whatever it is they have to do. Occasionally, though, real life does set in, and whether there's a difficulty or misunderstanding before the races, or a race crashed on a racetrack, Canada and Canadians are there promptly to deal with the situation, make sure everyone's okay, make sure everybody's safe, and if somebody needs to be rescued, to rescue them, and then we can all get back to the race that we call life. Sisters and snipers. And we live in a country where your sister can even be a sniper if she wants to be. Sisters and brothers in Canada are equally valuable, equally important, equally entitled to education and to work and to different skills and different adventures in life. Of course, sisters, keep in mind, this means that sisters and brothers also have equal responsibilities. Snipers. Canada realizes that peace does not come easily. We realize that things have to be fought for. Canada has a reputation for loving peace, and in truth we do. But we realize that it cannot come if it's not protected. In that vein, Canada has the international recognized best sniper in the world. We protect what's important to us and to the world. Time zones, Toronto, and temperatures. Canada is a vast country. We cross multiple time zones, so even if you're watching television, the same show might not be shown in the same place at the same time, or it might be shown at exactly the same time, but it's a different time if it's shown live. It's complicated to explain. Toronto is the largest city in Canada, a source of economic contribution to the rest of Canada, a source of immigration to our country, a source of entertainment and culture. Temperatures. Temperatures in Canada. Oh my goodness. From one side of the country to another, there can be easily a 20-degree difference, sometimes more. Heck, they say that in Canada, from one day to the next, you can have a different season just in the same city. Universities in the United States. Canada has some of the top-notch universities in the world. Whenever they do rankings, Canada is right amongst the top. And not only that, we support student education here. Provincial and federal governments and bursaries and awards for students who want to have a higher education. This, of course, makes things more equal for everybody and gives us a better chance at having a good life. United States of America, the country to our southern border. We have the largest border in the world, I believe, with our neighbor. And we're not at war. Even better. United States is our largest trading partner, and without them, life would not be the same here in Canada. That much is for sure. Vancouver and visitors. Vancouver, of course, is on our west coast. Has a thriving port of entry for people and for imports. Has a thriving film industry as well, often being filmed in and around the mountains there for different locations you've probably seen in films all over the world, but were actually filmed in Vancouver. It also has one of Canada's most diverse populations, something that I can't imagine how much they benefit from. All those different points of view and cultural events and different activities throughout the city all year long. Visitors, welcome to Canada. Welcome to this vast nation. Now, just because this has come up more than once, I hate to be the one to tell you, you cannot drive across Canada in a weekend. You cannot visit your friends in Moncton, New Brunswick, and then visit your friends in the Yellowknife in the same day. Many countries would fit inside of our Great Lakes. But having said that, we welcome you to our country. We will treat you good and hope that you'll come back again. Certainly, if you have a question, just ask us or leave me a comment below, and I'll do what I can to find the right answer for you. Canada has so many visitors now that it's a wonderful opportunity to have another one. Perhaps that one will be you. Witness, water, and wildlife. We witness our past and seek to learn from it. There's reconciliation that has to take place, and we are not a perfect country, and we do not have a perfect past, but we can learn from it and serve as witness to those activities that happened in the past, while still being proud of who we are today and where we are heading. From the past, we learn about what our future will be. Water. Canada has, in fact, a huge amount of water. It's a primary life-preserving resource, one that I think we should protect and really be more respectful of. Please don't waste our water. Wildlife. Canada's wildlife is truly a blessing, whether it's in national parks, in the forest lands, on the plains, or on the seashore. Our wildlife is a gift to our country. I hope you get a chance to see some this year. And X is for X-Men. Of course X is for X-Men. What else would it be for? X-Men rock. Do you know why X-Men rock? Because X-Men have Logan. Do you know why Logan rocks? Wolverine? Logan rocks because Logan is Canadian. Of course. Yukon, youth and years. Canada's Yukon, of course, is in our north. A famous thing for being, well, cold at some times of the year, but beautiful at other times of the year. Historically known for our gold rush and for people that are hardy and strong. Youth. Canada, our youth are important to us. And youth, you represent our future. We know that you have great abilities and great choices to make in your life. We're depending on you to carry the country forward. Years. Canada's years are vast and many. We have years in our past, years in our future, and our current years. While you live your days one at a time, you may not know how the years compile. Look at the long term and see what we can accomplish. Zip codes, zinnias, and Zeds. What the heck is a zip code? What does that even mean? In Canada, we use postal codes. Do you know why they call them postal codes? Because they're used by the post office. Funny to name something after its use, but I know the post office originally designed them so that we could find different areas within cities and within the country. Postal codes, not zip codes. Zinnias. Nice flower, big and bold like Canadians. And even better, they've come out with a special red and white combination for Canada's 150th anniversary. Z. It's Z, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls and grandparents, it's Z. There is no Z. Now, I know that we put this together in alphabetical order, and I can't change the way the alphabet is, but you can by simply going forwards or backwards in the video to find the letters you're most interested in. Whether it's Z, or M, or T, or J, or P for Peter, certainly just go to the section you want and listen to it. If there's anything you'd like to add to the video, let us know.
Look, I got it. Who's your most favorite Canadian pup? Look at all the names of them. Who's your favorite Canadian? You can write them. Hey, so let's go get balloons. Write your favorite Canadian. Let's go get some balloons. They hand them out after. They're handing them out right now.